PAX 8 Beyond 2026. What an incredible event. Incredible. I believe it's PAX 8's finest. Was there in Salt Lake City, and it was run incredibly well. The keynotes were really, really incredible. Great messaging, great new announcements. The way they handled the media. We had a whole podcasting row and treated us really, really well. Well attended. Thousands of MSPs, thousands of attendees that were just, ready to learn, ready to share, ready to be part of this community. Really great event. They're in Salt Lake City, an unusual location in that I've never been to an event there before, but Salt Lake City did a really good job of hosting it. Beautiful there in the mountains, and absolutely the weather was incredible, although we didn't spend much time outside. But Podcast Row was set up incredibly well too by PAX 8 leadership. Had 15 great conversations. First was with Brent Whitfield from New Charter, of course, from Garage Startup to 8-figure exit lessons for MSP leaders. Great conversation with Brett, great insight. Next was my friend Rob Scott from Monjur, of course. Why AI can't replace human expertise in high stakes decisions. Great conversation with Rob. Rob, so well-rounded. Really enjoyed. It's my second time talking with him on the podcast. Dave Meister from Checkpoint, from tech apprentice to global cybersecurity leader. Great conversation with Dave. Really, really cool insight. First time meeting Dave. Oh, and then Kim Simmons. My goodness. Second year talking to her at PAX 8. I'm a big fan of her and her Cloud Contracts 365. How growth mindset and AI are reshaping business success. Wonderful to see Kim. Next, Dan Daniele from CrowdStrike. Had the pleasure of knowing Dan for many years. How AI is changing cybersecurity faster than most businesses realize. Really great conversation with Dan. Always enjoy his time. Ryan Seguin. First time I met Ryan from ScalePad. Really great conversation, really open. Why your best growth opportunity is already in front of you. From PAX 8, next was Ola Wodakowicz. Sorry, Ola, if I mispronounced that. From burnout to balance in a hyper-connected world. First time meeting Ola. Really great conversation. Enjoyed it. Gagan Singh, of course, from Blackpoint, CEO there. The AI revolution, opportunity, risk, and the future of humanity. Great talk with Gagan. I've had the pleasure of talking to him before, not on the podcast, but really, really smart, really insightful. Daniel De La Garza from Kipling Secure. Great conversation with Daniel. There, we're doing a lot of work with Kipling. It was a really great conversation. Thank you, Daniel. Next was Jason Myers from Open Text. AI is powerful, but not as smart as you think. Great conversation with Jason. Joe Levy was next from Sophos. Had so much in common with Joe. We're both from the Northeast, and we were doing very similar things with computing in the 90s, and really great insight from Joe. Thank you very much. Luisa Balanuch. I think I mispronounced that, Luisa. But incredible conversation with Lisa. She's doing great thing with offshore and nearshore hiring, helping MSPs do that. FlexPoint is the name of the company. Ryan Walsh from PAX 8. My friend Ryan, is the second year we've talked on the podcast. Great insight. The time goes by so quickly. Thank you very much, Ryan. Brian O'Shaughnessy, one of my good friends for 15 years, has an MSP, recently merged with a friend, Rob Bruce, who I also talked to. From startup panic to lasting success. Great talking with Brian, great insight. Jessica Davis. My goodness, Jessica, we've known each other for a little while. Great to have you on the podcast. And last was Rob Bruce, the two leadership partners at SkyTide, from Africa to MSP business. Excellent guest. I thank all of you for taking the time to spend with me there at Beyond. And thank you for watching and for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word, discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision: growth through learning from others.
I saw your post this morning.
Which one was that?
I replied to it. One about your lawnmower roots.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in Dallas as a young kid. Please explain.
So I was, my brother and I actually, my middle brother Pete, was working at the time at the city doing landscaping and had done some landscaping when he was in New York, and he decided that we should start a landscaping business, so we cobbled together a few bucks and got an old weed eater and a lawnmower from the local
Now, how old are you?
hardware store. I'm 15 at the time, going into 10th grade, so the summer before 10th grade. So yeah, that was my first foray into the landscaping world.
So you're mowing lawns, you're trimming things.
Yeah, so my job was mostly in sales.
Ah.
So I was the one that was, out. My brother did too, but I did a lot of the consultations with the customers and
Nice.
signed them up on the service and walked around their property and told them what we could clean up. And then I was basically a crew leader. I ran a crew of 3 or 4 guys most days, doing maintenance and landscape installations.
Recurring revenue?
Yes, of course. Yeah, recurring revenue.
Every month.
Every week.
Every week.
Yeah, they pay by the week. So we charge, in those days it was $20 to $45 depending on the size of the lawn. And we were, one of the early guys that were trying to offer full service. So we would, go in and offer all the landscaping services that a customer would need.
Wow.
We also had a service where we called it mow, edge, trim, blow, which was just, taking care of the maintenance without any of the chemicals or anything like that. But our goal was to be a full service provider. And then when I bought the franchises for U.S. Lawns and the DFW Metroplex, of course, they're a full service commercial landscaping company, and we ran irrigation crews. We had 3 or 4 landscape crews. We had 12 maintenance crews. So it was pretty much different business. But
In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSPinfluencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection, powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer, all powered by the Forza platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow. And what did you do with your current business that you had?
I was supposed to be just an investor in the landscaping business.
I see.
It wound up being a little bit more active than I anticipated. But yeah, we had a good run. I decided to buy those businesses after the crash of
07?
Yeah, 08. Yeah. By 2010, it was I was looking for harder assets in my portfolio. So I thought, why don't I buy something where I've got real assets, not just, paper money. And so I thought to myself, what is it that I know about? And so landscaping was kind of the obvious answer because I had done it as a kid. I had been passionate and a avid gardener my whole life.
And where did law school come in?
So law school came in between. So I started RJS Gardens when I was in high school, and then continued with that through my sophomore year.
Of high school?
Of college.
Oh, of college.
I did it all the way through high school into my first 2 years of college.
And you went there locally, SMU?
Yeah, I went to Austin College in Sherman. And then my brother sold that business to a friend of his, and it ran for another 20-plus years.
Wow.
RJS Gardens in the DFW Metroplex. I'm sure some people may have heard of that if they're in that area. And then so I went to law school from 93 to 96.
Wow.
And then I became the managing partner of Scott & Scott in 1999, and then it was that 2010 time frame where we bought those franchises in Dallas for U.S. loans.
And why go to law school?
I was one of those kids that would, in the 7th grade, if someone asked, what do you want to do or be when you grow up? Some people wanted to be firemen, and some people wanted to be doctors. I always wanted to be a lawyer. My dad went to law school when he was 50.
Wow.
My brother is an attorney. Obviously, he was a partner in a law firm. So I kind of was decided that that's what I wanted to do from a very early age. But the interesting thing is, after the first year of law school, I was ready to quit.
Really? That's a big percentage drop out.
Yeah, so think about it. All your whole life, you programmed to go to law school. Then you get there, it's like, is this really what I want to do? Because this is a pain in the ass.
It is, yeah.
And so after the first year of law school, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I think I'm not going to go back for the second year. She said, well, of course you're going back. The hard part is already over. Everyone already knows the first year of law school is the hardest.
Right.
So you would be stupid to quit
That's
now.
right.
So I went back for the second year. After the second year of exams, I called my mom. Mom, I don't think I'm going back for the third year. I don't really think I need to go back. She says, that sounds crazy to me. You're 2/3 of the way finished. Why would you stop now? It's downhill from here. So I'm grateful that she encouraged me to finish. And so after law school, I moved to Dallas and have been there ever since.
And your love of motorcycles started when?
Well, when I was about 7, I think I started riding my first motorcycle. It was a 50cc Honda mini bike. And there's just something about a motorcycle that's different than any other kind of vehicle. But in general, I like everything that goes fast.
Is that right?
Yeah, if it's a car, a jet ski, a boat, motorcycle, anything that goes fast, I'm in.
Really?
So it's more like the adrenaline junkie than specifically motorcycles, but it has manifested itself mostly in riding motorcycles, which I ride. I have a bike. I have 2 motorcycles, both Ducatis that I ride, and I've got 10,000 miles on one of them, and I put all of those miles on it.
Wow.
And I've got one that I bought recently that already has a couple thousand miles on it. So I do about anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 miles a year.
Do you really?
And then next month I'm going to be doing a lot of miles in Italy, because I'm going with my buddies to World Ducati Bike Week in Italy. So we're going to actually ride from Florence to the event and ride back. So we're going to get our miles up.
Wow.
And the thing about riding frequently is a safety issue. What I've learned is that you ride safest when you're most confident.
Interesting.
And if you're not riding a lot, your confidence can wane. And as soon as you feel unsafe or scared, then you're tense. Then it's not just like any other activity, feeling calm and confident is always the best approach. So I like to stay sharp, and when the weather is permitting, I like to ride. I don't like to ride in the rain or the bad weather, but when the weather's nice, I'm pretty much going to either be trying to play golf or ride motorcycles.
Why do Italians know how to make motorcycles? Why Ducati?
Well, look, my love of Ducatis has nothing to do with their manufacturing acumen. I started with Ducati for financial reasons. So it just happens that Ducati is probably the most collectible of all motorcycles. and the Italian motorcycles in particular outperform the German and the Japanese motorcycles.
Really?
As far as investment by far.
Oh, by investment.
So once I decided to go down that path of being very focused on learning, studying, and buying museum quality Ducati motorcycles, it made sense that that was my community, right? So I started riding Ducatis. Previous to riding Ducatis, I rode Ninja ZX 1100. That's what I had when I was in law school. And at that time, that was a ferocious,
I was going to say, it's
ridiculous,
very different.
outrageously powerful motorcycle. And I loved it. It was just, there's when you go fast in a car, there's a certain level of exhilaration. That exhilaration is multiplied when you go fast on a motorcycle. So
I had
fun stuff.
My father had a Yamaha 750 or so. I think 1 down, 5 up, and in high school, and I loved it. And then I just saw one accident, Rob, and I never went back.
Yeah, no. Hey, every time my older brother Jonathan sees a car crash, he calls me.
Yeah.
Says, "Hey, little brother, I'm just checking on you. I just saw somebody die on a motorcycle. I hope you're being safe."
Yeah.
And so finally I said, "Hey, man, I appreciate you calling me, but I want you to know I'm trying to do everything as safe as I can.
Yeah.
And I've decided, now my kids are grown, I would rather die in a fiery motorcycle crash than never ride motorcycles." So that was the last time he called me.
He gets it.
With those reports. But it's dangerous.
It is.
It's very dangerous. But a high percentage of the accidents are caused by 2 things. 1, alcohol, and 2, entering turns too fast.
Interesting.
So those are the 2 things that
entering
I don't
turns
do
too
at
fast.
all. So yeah, if you think about most motorcycle accidents have to do with entering a turn too fast and on the wrong angle.
Interesting.
So you get yourself into trouble and you can't react.
Whoa.
The other is alcohol.
Of course, impairment.
A very high percentage of motorcycle accidents involve alcohol. And so when I ride, I never drink. I always am ultra conservative in entering turns. And I always wear my safety gear. So I'm not saying it's not safe. It's clearly reckless. That's where the adrenaline comes from.
Yeah.
But I try to be prudent in those ways.
And oftentimes the other drivers are distracted and, in cars. And you hear this
So
too.
I have a theory about that as well.
Go ahead.
So when I'm on my motorcycle, I'm usually traveling much faster than the cars.
Interesting.
So what I do by doing that is I eliminate almost everything that's behind me.
Whoa.
Because the probability that there's a car going as fast as me is extremely remote.
Yes.
So now my field of vision has to do with the cars in front of me. The fact that I'm going so much faster than them, whatever they're thinking about doing, I'm already past them.
Interesting.
And so in my way of thinking,
You're driving offensively.
it's a very aggressive, offensive approach.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's a saying among motorcycle guys that loud pipes save lives. So all of my bikes have, racing loud pipes. You can hear me coming.
Really?
A lot of times when I pull up, I could see people hit their brake lights because they hear.
Wow.
And the first thing they do is put on their brakes. I'm a believer in that as well.
Do you wear ear?
I don't wear earplugs, but
Because you need to listen, right?
Yeah, you want to be able to hear stuff for sure. And in Dallas, people will try to run you over.
They will.
It's like riding a motorcycle in Dallas is like playing Frogger. It's like you're just
Frogger,
one log away from being squished. So. Sometimes it freaks my girlfriend out when we're in Dallas. She's like, "Oh my God, we almost died 3 times today." No, we didn't, but that was pretty close,
Speaking of not drinking, we're here in Utah.
Yeah.
At the Big PAX 8 Beyond event. What are some of your goals this week, Rob?
When I come to an event, my first priority is to connect with clients. So, we have probably 200 clients at this event. And part of, why I come to these events is I can see, check in with, hear from, a lot of clients in 1 week. And so that's certainly a goal. We'll also have an exhibit, and we'll have our sales team here at our booth. And the goal will be to meet MSP owners that may be interested in learning more about Monjur services. And then, of course, all my buddies from the industry, the CEOs of various companies and all the people that we see, week in and week out in the channel will be here. So it's a community for sure, and it's always great to connect with the community as well.
It's a wonderful community.
Yeah.
What do you like about working with MSPs?
MSPs have a tremendous amount of complexity in their business. And on a risk-adjusted basis, their businesses are not very prudent.
Interesting.
So it's a business where success is frequently tied to risk mitigation. And so legal becomes a core. Other businesses, like take the landscaping business, I didn't never hire a lawyer to help me with my landscaping business. Of course, I'm a lawyer. I wrote the contracts for our business, but many of my franchise colleagues had their own approach to contracts. They didn't hire lawyers. The franchisor would help them with stuff, but in the landscaping business, and I had a substantial landscaping business, bigger than the average size MSP, and we didn't use lawyers. We had insurance, and we hoped that that would cover us for whatever would come up. In the managed services business, because of privacy liability, and the fact that businesses are running on the technology that MSPs are managing, when that technology goes down, people suffer financial harm.
Wow.
And more frequently now we see that MSPs are being sued for things that they didn't cause, like the criminal acts of third parties, ransomware attacks, business email compromises. It's a crazy world where someone else can be the bad actor, but the blame could be placed on the MSP. And so I've worked really hard to try to develop an approach that would be similar to what a large tech company would get from a law firm that was focused in technology and use the cloud and AI to deliver enterprise-grade contracts and legal services to what are primarily...
What if discipline wasn't about punishment, but about unlocking your best self? I spent 2.5 years writing Discipline for Greatness because discipline changed my life. And I know it can change yours too. This isn't theory. Inside, you'll find real, practical steps you can use immediately to focus better, build stronger habits, reduce stress, accomplish your goals, and bring more balance to your life. Whether you're trying to get healthier, improve your career, or simply feel more control, this book gives you the framework. Start today. Grab your copy of Discipline for Greatness at joeypinz.com/book. Thank you.
really small businesses.
So why shouldn't MSPs, and for that matter, small to medium businesses, trust an LLM for their agreements?
Oh, now we're having fun.
Yeah.
So I think the primary issue with LLMs is this.
Large language models, AI we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about AI. And look, let's put it into a more clear focus. The GTIA and ASCII did a joint survey recently of MSPs. 98% of MSPs use general AI tools, either Gemini, ChatGPT, or Claude, Anthropic. 98%.
Wow.
Okay? So the issue becomes, what are the boundaries of its capabilities? And then specifically with legal, what are the risks associated with using those tools without an attorney involved? One of the premises of responsible AI, which is an ethical framework that has been established to prevent the harms that could occur from use and adoption of AI, one of those principles is called human in the loop.
Say that again?
Human in the loop.
Human in the loop.
Human in the loop, which means we don't program computers to take actions that could have an adverse effect on human beings without having a human being sign off on what they're doing.
Loop, yeah.
That humans are supervising AI. So now we're starting to see how AI is supervising humans.
Ooh.
So we have to have this responsibility framework in place, and that's been referred to as human in the loop. In my world, I call that lawyer in the loop. because that's the particular type of licensed human that's necessary. And when you think about large language models, number one, they're telling you up front, don't use this for legal. So if something goes wrong, you have no one to point the finger at. If I do something to injure a client, just like every lawyer or doctor, we carry professional insurance. If a lawyer makes a mistake that hurts a client, then there's some ability in the law with insurance to have a responsibility for that. The MSP that's using a large language model is not only getting a crappy legal product, they've got no recourse to it when something goes wrong.
Good point.
So that's number one. Number two, if you can't tell whether the output is good or not because you don't have the
That's
training
right.
or expertise
That's
to
right.
do it,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be the one supervising it, because we all know that it gives answers it shouldn't be giving. Hallucination, drift, loss of context, summarization, truncation. These are all the things that I started beating my head up against with when I started to develop AI tools for law. And the language models that most MSPs are using, Copilot, Gemini, Anthropic, Claude, ChatGPT, they out of the box do not solve for the problems that we're talking about when it comes to legal review and workflow. The biggest problem is they lack the context of law firm grade documents. If you put a law firm grade document into a large language model, you're going to get the ability to get a much better output. But without that law firm grade context to provide it, you're going to wind up with garbage. And I see it. We offer a free MSA review. Now I'm reviewing, 15 or 20 MSAs every week.
Master services agreements.
And many of these are coming in, and it's clear to me that they're written with AI.
Wow.
And I'm using AI to point out the facts that it was written with AI and the problems that AI specifically created, not to mention all the things that are missing. And I would say, in my experience, the worst MSAs that I review are the ones that are generated by AI.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow. So why should an MSP partner with Monjur?
Well, look, I would say if you don't have a great solution for legal in place, then Monjur could be an answer if you're an MSP. Because after you've represented over 1,000 MSPs, you kind of learn the business and you can figure out, how to serve them very, very well when you do it day in and day out and build an organization that's just dedicated to that. And you do it for 20 plus years and you get pretty good at it. And you pretty much already know everything that they're dealing with when they walk through the door. So they don't have to explain what they do to us. In many instances, we have more experience in their industry than they do.
Right.
And so one of the frustrations that we hear from MSPs is we hate dealing with general lawyers or local business lawyers because we have to explain what we do to them, and they're on the clock, and we're paying them to learn about our business.
Wow.
So that's one issue. The other one is that the tools that lawyers have available to them are changing dramatically. And we have been investing heavily in those tools. Starting in 2022, we developed a cloud-native dynamic service that allows MSPs to collapse sales and contracting into one online step and moving to a very modern and enterprise-type approach to contracting, where the contracts are in the cloud and online. You can make changes on a deal-by-deal basis in the quote, but every quote that goes out has the agreements in it. So one way to think about Monjur is you come to Monjur if you want to turn your quotes into enforceable contracts. And if you do that, now you've standardized the way you contract with your customers. And now that it's in the cloud, you can keep your contracts updated as part of our service. We're hosting those terms that live in those quotes, and the MSP doesn't have to do anything. They just stay updated in the background. So I would say that when it comes to MSPs, we see there are levels of maturity. And most MSPs are operating at a 0 level of maturity, which I call unprotected. So level 0 is unprotected. Level 1 is protected. Level 2 is standardized. And level 3 is intelligent.
Wow.
So most MSPs are dealing with agreements today that leave them exposed for a variety of reasons. The biggest ones that I see are improper use of risk balancing clauses like limitations of liability, indemnity, and insurance.
Wow.
These are very technical, risk concepts. The other is vendor risk. If Kaseya has a ransomware attack, do I get in trouble? If my clients are using Claude Cowork that I'm not helping them with, but I know they're doing it and something goes wrong and it comes back on me, are we covered? So that's what protected sounds like.
Yeah.
Standardized is once you get a good set of agreements, now we start incorporating them into every quote. Now we put all customers on the same contract. Now we have the ability through browser wrap provisions to keep those contracts updated dynamically without having to go back and get signatures. That's what standardized looks like. And standardized means we're having less friction in the sales process. Because a lot of MSPs can get to that point where they've got some pretty good contracts, but they're still getting that friction in the sales process. So how do you eliminate that friction? With standardization.
Yeah.
Right? So then we get our clients that have been with us a while. Last summer in August, we launched Monjur Pilot, the new AI platform.
Monjur Pilot.
And now we're able to help those clients that are at level 2 reach for this level 3, which is intelligent, where your contracts have been turned into AI knowledge bases. Now they're equipped with explanations, enrichments, and alternative clauses. What that means is anybody can handle a negotiation without having to check with a boss or outside lawyer because all the alternatives are built into the knowledge base.
Wow.
When we take our master services agreement that we've built over 20 years and turn it into an AI knowledge base, those risk balancing provisions that I talked about, limitation of liability, indemnity, and insurance, they all have 4 clauses each pre-built. So that now if an end user says, I don't like your limitation of liability, Monjur Pilot's legal assistant now walks the MSP through that negotiation. They can use the AI in the middle of the night.
Wow.
They could use it 24/7, and it's context aware of the agreements and the knowledge bases and nothing else.
Wow.
The other thing that we did is we encountered this problem that you've seen. When we used to hire interns at the law firm, the very first thing that we would teach them is if you're ever involved in a discussion with a client and you don't know the answer, don't act like a big shot and guess at the answer.
Right.
If you don't know the answer, the right answer is, I don't know, let me check.
Right.
Because you never, ever, ever
Mislead.
give a client the wrong answer.
Yeah.
But with AI,
It doesn't
has
have
it
that.
ever given you sorry,
course it
dude,
has.
sorry, Joey, my context is not that great.
Yeah.
My training data sucks, and I could answer the question for you, but it wouldn't be very good? Never.
Never.
Right?
Yeah. The opposite.
So what we learned is that the AI could be reasonably good at discerning the quality of its answer after the fact. So which led us to develop something that ultimately became part of our patent, which is our gating system for search. So our system is both a closed system that's RAG limited, that has only our contracts and our knowledge bases in it, with a gating system that's based on a confidence scoring algorithm, so that if it doesn't know the answer, it allows you to go into an open mode that's fully open and not grounded, but requires supervision. So as soon as you go into open mode, you get the warnings and you get submit for review.
Human in the loop.
Lawyer in the loop, right? So now our clients, instead of having to choose between traditional law firms that can be slow, expensive, and sometimes out of touch with managed services, or the inexpensive, fast, but risky large language model that's unsupervised with Monjur Pilot, now they have a choice where they can leverage the AI and bring experienced attorneys just to review that last mile.
Amazing. Very thorough, Rob. When was Monjur started?
Monjur was started in March of 2022.
Wow.
So just to give you a sense of the scale of what we're living through, Monjur took 4 years to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Okay, and was one, from what I've heard, one of the fastest growing companies in the channel. But in 10 weeks since we launched our Monjur Pilot, came out of beta, full launch in March. In the first 10 weeks, we put 1,000 users on Pilot.
Amazing.
So that's the difference in how the world is changing, and why guys like me who are CEOs of B2B SaaS companies are doing everything they can to pivot to a 2.0 version that's primarily AI powered,
Right.
because of, number one, the scalability, number two, the fact that scalability means that if your business is growing, you can accelerate that growth. I read a story about one AI company that got to their first million, and 8 weeks later got to their second million.
Wow.
In the B2B SaaS world,
Yeah, that's
like
unusual.
even the absolute unicorns,
Right.
like didn't grow like that. So we're ushering into a new age of hyper growth capability, and it's both exciting and scary at the same
sure
time.
is. Rob, is there a question you wish more people would ask you?
Is there a question I wish more people would ask me? There is one, actually, that someone asked me recently. It's like, if you could go back for one day and live in the shoes of one person, like, who would it be?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the dream foursome
Sure.
kind of thing. And I remember thinking to myself, I think it would be cool to like be at a major battle, or like to do like
Gettysburg or
something historically significant. Of course, I wouldn't want to be on the losing end of getting shot up, but I think that I can't think of anything that would be more exhilarating than that. I don't want to glorify it because that's obviously not a thing to glorify.
Or just to witness it.
But just for me, it's like it's all about meaning, right? So what could I do that would be very meaningful? I would try to find something that would be super meaningful and way out of the ordinary for what a middle-aged attorney does.
Is there something like 10 years ago, Rob, you believed in firmly that you no longer believe now? 10 years-ish.
10 years.
So you'd have been, what, 22?
Yeah, 22, 45, 10 years ago. So is there anything, let's see. I really can't think of anything that comes to mind on that, but it's a thought-provoking question.
It sure is.
And I appreciate the question, but nothing particular comes to mind.
Do you find yourself changing your mind on things?
Not really.
Have you changed your mind in the last month about something?
Not really. Not anything that I consider myself open-minded.
Right.
Like, and sometimes even wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Like, so I
Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind in terms of
I put you on the spot.
That's fine. That's your job. You did a good job with it. But I will say this: I never expected the world to change as quickly as it's changing.
Yeah. What we've seen in our lifetime is absolutely incredible. We've seen PCs, World Wide Web, moving to the cloud, cyber, AI. It's incredible what we've seen in our lifetime.
Yeah, and I would say this, for those of you out there that are in the doomerism, AI doomerism group, I recently had my law firm added to a directory of AI firms. Like AI native law firms are now, being, put on directories and all of that, which is really cool because there's not a legal matter that I work on that I don't think first, how are we going to use AI to help the client?
Right.
And more my clients are asking me, they don't care if it's an hourly rate or a fixed fee or whatever.
Right.
They just want to know, how am I going to use AI to save them money, right? Safely, right? It's not just to save money. It's to get lawyer-grade results faster, cheaper, right? And I was looking at that directory, and it looked like every other directory I've seen of lawyers for the last 30 years because it was organized by practice area. So this is an AI native bankruptcy firm.
Right.
Mine is an AI native technology firm.
Divorce.
This is an AI native divorce. Yeah. So in the end, it's not going to change. Yeah. It's always going to be about your subject matter expertise. And so we don't fear AI because, number one, we're ahead of it.
Yeah.
Number two, it's our subject matter expertise that helps us protect clients. And as long as we have that and we continue to show up and stay dedicated to our North Star metric of protecting clients, then Monjur is going to continue to represent a growing number of MSPs we're going to help move along that maturity model that I talked about from 0 to 3 to find them where they are, most of them unprotected, get them protected, get them standardized, and get them where they're leveraging AI to automate legal workflows to save time and money.
Want to show your love for discipline, inspiration, and the Joey Pinz podcast? Now's your chance. Introducing the brand new Joey Pinz merch store, where style meets discipline. Choose from premium apparel, cozy hoodies, stylish hats, durable bags, and your new favorite coffee mug, all featuring the iconic Joey Pinz logo. Perfect for podcast fans, discipline enthusiasts, or as unique gifts for friends and family. Every purchase supports the Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations podcast, helping us continue to inspire greatness and promote positive change. Visit joeypinz.com/store today and wear your discipline proudly. Joey Pinz merch. Wear it, share it, and live it. And keeping a human in the loop. Now, you know my story. I've told you before. I started the MSP back in the 90s, was working way too hard, wasn't exercising or dieting. Next thing I know, the doctor tells me I'm at 340 pounds. I'd gained all this terrible amount of weight. She tells me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Scared the life out of me, Rob. And, I spent the next 6-7 months, lost about 120 pounds and kept it off, right? You got to look at these things like, you can't look at them at the finishing line. These are lifelong changes. And when I tell people this, they always say, well, what's your secret? I say, there's no secret, just discipline, right? Motivation, routine, focus. How does discipline play a role in your life?
So I think the discipline to stay focused is a big challenge for a CEO in a business like Monjur, because a business like Monjur has way more opportunities than it could tend to. We have partner requests from everyone.
Of course.
We have people that want to hire us to do all kinds of stuff, right? So we have all of these opportunities. And so staying focused and disciplined about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, becomes a very important thing day in and day out. And so an example for us is we have the expertise to offer services in a much broader window than managed services. But we've decided to stay very focused in managed services because that focus creates the discipline to create the business that can scale and dominate. And so I think that shows up there. I would say work ethic. You were reading about my post from high school. I have incredible discipline to get the work done, even if that means staying up late at night, working on weekends, putting in 70, 80 hours a week if necessary, traveling to 50 cities a year to meet clients. So that comes up as well. It's like I'm very dedicated, I'm very committed, and in order to do that, I think consistently, you have to have discipline.
Sure do.
And then I think at that pace, you have to have the discipline to recharge, re-energize, and stay like from preventing burnout, essentially.
Yeah, important.
And
Resets.
so I've worked really hard at really thinking about how I spend my time when I'm not working, and that's all deliberately designed to recharge the batteries, give the nervous system a reset, so that I can work that kind of schedule and still keep my wits about me.
Rob, I've known you for a few years now. I absolutely love the growth. I love Pilot. I love what you do with helping MSPs. I really appreciate your time today. People watching, listening, the best way to get in touch with you is?
The best way to get in touch with us is on our website at monjur.com, monjur.com. You can experience the products there on the page. You can schedule a call with one of our sales teams. And if you have something specifically for me, you can catch me on LinkedIn. I'm Robert Scott at Monjur on LinkedIn. You can find me there as well.
Rob, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
You're the best. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.